In the early hours of 20th of June 1837, Britain's future changed in silence. At Kensington Palace, an 18-year-old princess named Victoria was asleep when she was suddenly awakened. The Archbishop of Canterbury and Lord Conyngham had arrived with urgent news. King William IV was dead. Victoria later wrote that she got out of bed, went into her sitting room in her dressing gown, and met them alone. In that moment, the young princess learned that she was now Queen of the United Kingdom. It is hard to overstate how dramatic that moment was. Victoria had only just turned 18 a few weeks earlier. That mattered enormously. If William IV had died sooner, a regency might have been needed, and power would likely have fallen into the hands of the adults around her, especially her mother and the circle that had controlled much of her childhood. But the king had lived just long enough. Victoria was legally old enough to rule in her own name, and that gave the event an emotional force that captured the public imagination. Here was a young woman, small in stature, inexperienced, and suddenly placed at the center of the British monarchy. Later that same morning, she appeared before the Privy Council. Many of the senior statesmen in the room expected nervousness, hesitation, perhaps even fear. Instead, they saw composure. Britannica notes that her graceful assurance made a strong impression, and the accession of such a young queen was romantically popular. This was not simply the passing of one monarch to another, it felt like the beginning of something new. Victoria had grown up at Kensington Palace under what historians often call the Kensington system, a strict and controlled upbringing. Yet once she became queen, she moved quickly to establish independence. Kensington Palace had been the place of her childhood, but she chose to reign from Buckingham Palace instead. That decision itself symbolized a break with the life she had known before. Victoria became Queen of the United Kingdom, but she did not inherit Hanover, because Hanover followed a different succession law that barred women from taking the throne. That crown passed elsewhere. So even on the first day of her reign, Britain's monarchy was entering a new phase, separate from the old dynastic arrangements. What no one in that room could fully know was how long and how defining her reign would become. Victoria would remain on the throne for more than 63 years. During her reign, Britain experienced industrial expansion, imperial growth, and major social change. So when people speak of the Victorian Age, they are not just using the name of a queen. They are describing an entire era shaped under her crown. And it all began with that quiet morning in 1837. An 18-year-old girl, called from her bed before sunrise, stood alone and heard the words that changed her life forever. She was no longer Princess Victoria, she was Queen Victoria,